Hey everybody, this is Death by D4, and welcome to my guide on how to play as the Phantom Rogue subclass in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. There's a lot to go over, so be sure to subscribe and let's dive right on in. When you take this subclass at 3rd level, you get Whispers of the Dead, which grants you a new skill or tool proficiency that you can change to any other skill or tool proficiency over the course of a short or long rest. Though it's not a feature that I would consider to be all that amazing overall, it's still a nice and versatile one that can allow you to tailor yourself to almost any situation that you come across, so that's pretty nice. You'll also get Wails from the Grave at 3rd level, which allows you to deal extra necrotic damage to any creature within 30 feet of another creature that you've hit with your sneak attack. This extra necrotic damage is equal to a roll of half of your sneak attack dice rounded up, and you can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, recharging after a long rest. Okay, so, wow! I'm not gonna lie, but this is a pretty awesome feature for you to get in general. After all, being able to extend your sneak attack to another creature is just absolutely incredible for you. And the fact that there's basically no way for your target to avoid this damage is just absolutely absurd. However, just keep in mind that you're going to have to level up a bit more before you really start to notice the damage output provided by this feature. So just don't go and write it off if you find the added damage at this point to be a bit disappointing. Anyway, this is still an absolutely fantastic feature for you to get, and one that you're bound to get a lot of use out of over time. At 9th level, you get Tokens of the Departed, which allows you to use your reaction to snatch the soul of a creature that dies within 30 feet of you, encasing its soul in a tiny trinket that forms within the palm of your hand. You can have a number of soul trinkets equal to your proficiency bonus, and, while you have one on your person, you gain advantage on death and constitution saving throws. Finally, you can also destroy a soul trinket in order to instantly use your Wails from the Grave feature without expending a use of it, or to ask the spirit inside of the soul trinket a question as an action. Damn, talk about one heck of a terrifying feature. That said, I'd have to admit that this feature is still pretty hit or miss overall with its variety of applications. After all, gaining advantage on your death and constitution saving throws is pretty situational for you overall, especially as a rogue. That and your ability to ask the captured soul a question can be a bit difficult for you to use effectively, as there's technically nothing preventing the soul from just giving you a useless answer. However, what completely saves this feature is your ability to gain a free use of your Wails of the Grave feature, as that is just absurdly good for you in general. So overall, I'd have to say this is still a pretty nice feature for you to get, and one that I'd highly recommend making regular use of during combat. At 13th level, you get Ghost Walk, which allows you to use your bonus action to become incorporeal for up to 10 minutes once per long rest. While in this state, you have a flying speed of 10 feet with the ability to hover. All attack rolls made against you now have disadvantage, and you can move through creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain, taking 1d10 force damage if you end your turn inside one of them. Oh, and you can also choose to spend one of your soul trinkets in order to use this feature again before recharging it. Alright, so, assuming I'm not mistaken about anything right now, this feature is just absolutely ridiculous. After all, not only does it give you a flying speed and the ability to pass through creatures and objects, but it imparts disadvantage on all incoming attack rolls made against you for up to 10 minutes. That is just insane. Seriously, the amount of defensive power this feature gives you is completely absurd, allowing you to position yourself safely above your enemies and then rain death down upon them. Not only that, but you could even use one of your soul trinkets in order to keep using this feature repeatedly. Is this even balanced? Well, despite all the benefits that you receive from this feature, it's probably worth mentioning that your movement speed does get extremely hampered by it, meaning that just moving around or escaping from things like AoE spells is going to be very difficult for you. Not only that, but you actually need to dash in order to actually move through a creature or object, making it rather difficult for you to actually use that trait. That said, I'd be lying if I didn't say this is still a super solid feature for you to get overall, and one you're probably going to find a lot of uses for once you get there. Finally, at 17th level, you get Death's Friend, which allows you to deal damage with your Wails of the Grave feature to your first and second target at the same time, and also provides you with one soul trinket whenever you finish a long rest without any. Wow! So at this point, your sneak attack's damage output has just shot up through the roof, as you can now deal an additional 5d6's worth of necrotic damage to any creature that you hit with your sneak attack. And that's already on top of the additional 5d6 you deal to another creature. That is just insane! And finally, to top it all off, since you now gain a free soul trinket whenever you finish a long rest, that just means you can now more easily make use of all of your subclass's features moving forward. Seriously, just wow! What an absolutely incredible feature for you to get, and one that makes for a marvelous capstone feature for this particular subclass. Alright, that does it for all the subclass features. Now on to just a few of my own personal recommendations concerning it. It should go without saying, but this subclass is definitely best suited for combat over anything else. Sure, it can provide you with some good utility beyond that, but all of your non-combative features are actually pretty limited overall, not to mention that most of your features don't do anything to directly help your allies. So, yeah, just be sure to keep that in mind when creating your character. Oh, and when picking a race for yourself, just don't go picking anything with a flying speed if you think you're going to be able to use that to get around the speed debuff imparted by your Ghost Walk feature. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not gonna actually work, as that feature actually locks you into your 10-foot flying speed, meaning that there's no way you'd be able to change that aside from using something like a spell. So unless that doesn't apply to you, then I just recommend picking another race entirely. And that's it. If you liked the video, then be sure to subscribe and let me know what you think down in the comments below. And if you'd like to have the chance to play D&D with me, then feel free to join my Discord server, and consider supporting me over on Patreon. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see all of you in the next video.